We've handed song sheets out today of an old English hymn, which I'd like you all to try and attempt to sing for a friend of ours.
In 1976, David Bowie's career moved into a whole new area, and he realised his ambition to be more than just a singer when he was chosen by Nick Rowe, who directed Mick Jagger in Performance, to star in the science fiction film The Man Who Fell to Earth. In it, Bowie plays Thomas Jerome Newton, a person from another planet who crash lands in America and is unable to cope with what he finds there. The part suited Bowie's way of appearing subtly more bizarre than anyone else perfectly.
Yeah, it comes to the act of casting of someone. I don't like having a figure in mind when I'm working on the script. That was one thing. And after I'd completed the script with Paul Marsberg, we then looked at it and thought, who is this man? You know, who is this man? And I thought, there is only one person that really kept on coming to mind, and that was Bowie. I'm not sure. I don't think he liked it at first. You know? I mean, he read the script. The script is a very difficult thing for someone to read, and especially someone like David. And in fact, he was working on a script of his own at the time, and that's always much more difficult because you have your own preconception of what you want to do in a movie. Something happened, I can't remember at what point, but something happened when we seemed to get a complete understanding, and from that point we arrived in a position where the question's got to come, well, will you do it? And he just said, yeah, don't worry about it. Yes, I want to do it.
It's not that I don't trust you.
Bowie returned to England in the summer of '76, sporting a whole new image for his Wembley concerts, the first here since 1973. Dressed like a German waiter in black, white and grey, his show was brilliantly staged with white light forming a backdrop. It was the most exciting performance seen here in years. Hundreds of fans arrived dressed as Ziggy, only to discover the master was one step ahead. By night 2, the audience was full of new lookalikes. His next 2 albums, Low and Heroes, were made with Brian Eno from Roxy Music. They were full of subtle electronic sounds, and although they didn't sell as well as his earlier work, they brought Bowie critical success. He was now living in Berlin and studying German culture. It was there with actor-turned-director David Hemmings that he made his next film, not yet released, entitled Just a Gigolo. His co-star was Marlene Dietrich.
Well, actually, it is the story of a young, rather vulnerable young man who goes to World War I in the hope that he will be able to be a hero. He comes from a Prussian military background. He really wants to be a hero. It is his destiny. And he fails throughout the whole picture. And the trouble was, we wanted somebody who could be passive, but also active. It is a passive role, and yet we didn't want somebody who was just going to walk through it and be a total observer. And we looked at a lot of people, and somebody in Rome suggested that David might be a great idea. I thought it was a good idea. Went to see David in Montreux, and we sat down, talked about it, talked it through. I made a lot of ideas up off the top of my head, and so did he, and pretended we'd thought about them all along. And we had a terrific meeting. And it just, from that meeting, we decided to do it. David decided that he did want to do it. And from then on, that was it.
So Gigolo has become another of Bowie's characters for his fans to copy.
I mean, you see, I always thought of David as an actor anyway. I mean, fundamentally, he has played roles, and his music has reflected the roles, and the roles have continued. And I suppose in the future, or now, Gigolo may have had an effect on that. Certainly, if you count the 7 different stages from Ziggy through to Gigolo, including Man Who Fell to Earth, then Gigolo is another persona, if you like.
In the light of Bowie's widely publicised remarks on fascism, it was an obvious worry that a role like this might be interpreted as showing an unhealthy obsession with Nazi Germany. Hemmings took this into account.
It happened already to have been a concept of mine that we would never see a swastika in the picture, and we would never refer to it in that way. And also the attack of the picture is from a completely different standpoint. I mean, here is an actor giving a very, very, very well-developed and extremely classy performance, which starts terribly, terribly sympathetically and naively, and grows and becomes more cynical as the film progresses, which is a hard task for an actor, particularly on a second major feature. And I mean, he did incredibly well. And I mean, I think that the audience, when they go to see it, because of the difference in nature of the picture, will again not reflect so much about David as a rock and roll performer, or indeed as the man who fell to earth kind of character. I think he plays the character in the film, and in the context of the film is an actor playing that role, is the character, in fact.
Well, I've had the outfit for ages, really. It's just built up from sort of a long time ago. I just put it together when I saw of his new film, really. It's just the only reason I wore it, because I didn't think anyone else would. They'd all be copying him as he is on stage.
When he was in The Man Who Fell to Earth, did you copy the way he looked in that?
I had red and blonde hair and sort of green duffel coats and that kind of thing, but then I sort of got fed up at dyeing hair, and sort of as he sort of matured, you sort of grow out of it and want to sort of stay with him, so just carried on doing that.
So this is your new look?
For concerts.
What job do you do?
Hairdresser. So...
Have you come on a train like that today?
Yeah.
You came on the underground dressed like that. Did you get a bit of stick from the other passengers? I mean...
I sort of look at you a bit, wonder where you're going.
As the fans assemble, we'll take a break. We'll return in a moment with a backstage chat with their idol himself and, of course, his music.